Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's Critical Misses. We're watching all of the musicals we missed this season. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpear.
Hello, Governor.
And we're here to watch 2017's The Greatest Showman, another Hugh Jackman joint. Probably not as gaunt as he was a couple episodes ago in Les Mis.
Definitely not. Definitely looking a bit more fuller of figure in this, which is absolutely fine by me.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So, Boston,
yes.
What do you know about The Greatest Showman? Break it down.
This is a some sort of P.T. Barnum movie. You know, one of America's greatest villains, P.T. Barnum. So I'm assuming that this movie is probably a more friendly tale of not exactly celebrating this guy, but maybe not telling the real monster story of this dude.
Yes. So let's get that out the way first and foremost. This is one of those movies where very much like, can you separate the art from the artist and still enjoy this thing, even if the artist is a wrong-un, as we have come to describe them as. This is very much of, can you separate a tale from the truth?
Right.
So ideally, let's pretend that this is just a different guy with the same name in an alternate universe, and all the things we know about the real P.T. Barnum, we're just going to put in a quiet little box, lock it away, and pretend that took place on Earth 2 instead.
So it's very much the opposite of our last musical, Hamilton, where it's like, this is largely accurate with a little bit maybe massaged here and there. And this one is just like, no, it's a movie about B.T. Barnum, you know, his brother, the good one.
Yes, pretty much. Take everything you know about P.T. Barnum and just think of this as it might actually be a Disney movie, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Think of this as the Disneyfication of Grimm. This is the Disneyfication of P.T. Barnum, where we're just going to pretend he wasn't possibly one of the worst human beings that ever existed on the face of the planet.
Right.
We're going to put that in a box, we're going to ignore it, and we're just going to say, okay, so it's a tale about a circus. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, it's like watching Snow White after you've read The Brothers Grimm, where you're like, there were elements that they shared, but no.
But this was nothing like the original. So,
but at the very least, we get a lot of Hugh Jackman singing, though.
Yes, we get a lot of Hugh Jackman singing in this movie.
Way into it.
Okay. Yeah, well, he is like literally the main person on the poster. I'm guessing based on the layout, that poster.
You got it.
And he's right there, center frame.
Yep. Well, his reflection is on this one because it's not very high. Yeah.
Okay, but yes. So we know Hugh Jackman, we know P.T. Barnum. Yep. What else do we know? Well, what else do you know?
I know that's you and your wife love this movie a great deal.
I am going to talk about this movie as little as possible in this first part, because otherwise I won't shut up.
Okay. We'll save that for the second half.
Yes, we will. Trust me, we'll get there.
Yeah, other than that, I feel like I don't know too much, because when it came out, I think a lot of people said, like, this is actually really good, and I was not expecting this to be good. And then they just kind of was like, you should watch it. See ya. Yeah.
So, a little bit of background on this for me and my wife. My wife went to see this in the theater because in the movie theater, that was the big, just for the future generations, that was the big building where they had the giant screen that sold popcorn that you used to go into
go see a movie
before
with, like,
2020.
Other people,
Yes. So my wife went to see it opening day. I think it was a Tuesday it opened, and she went to see it like one of the first showings. And then saw it like 3 more times in the theater within a week.
So it's one of those. All right.
It's one of those. I saw this, I think I first saw it on home release at her behest. Because we couldn't make our schedules line up to go and see it when it was in the theater, because it was very short kind of run.
Yeah.
However, seeing this movie is the thing that got me to go and see Hugh Jackman live in concert in Madison Square Garden with my wife.
I bet that was really good. Did he do Les Mis stuff?
He did Les Mis stuff. Yeah. He did Greatest Showman stuff. He did Gaston from Sleeping Beauty. He did so much stuff. And he also had a guest with him who is one of his co-stars in this movie, who I will not tell you who it is because I
Okay.
don't want to say anything. But that's a good, nice little segue there. I'm pointing it out, folks. Get annoyed. To Boston cast. What do you know?
He's
You can see the
literally the
poster.
only one I know.
Okay, so you obviously the poster's a little bit hard to see anybody who's on the bottom shelf of that,
Yeah.
to be completely honest. What about the top right corner of the poster? Those two people on the trapeze. Can we
Oh,
tell?
I don't have the poster. I don't have that poster up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Is Amanda
oh,
Seyfried in this again?
I've just realized. No, she's not in it. Thank
Okay.
goodness. We're gonna have a double twofer.
Oh no. Is Eddie Redmayne in this one?
Nope.
Oh man. Okay.
I mentioned Disney. Think Disney. Think Disney. And who have we had so far that was a big Disney boy? Spoiler alert, he was
I
a
was
Disney
gonna
boy.
I was gonna say Anne Hathaway, but no. To be great. Apparently, just love all these people. They're like, wow, these people can sing. All right, let's have them in more stuff. A big Disney guy. I don't know.
Hairspray.
Oh, hit that guy. The one with like the hair right in his face.
Yes.
I don't remember what his name is.
Zac Efron is the name you're looking
Yes.
for.
Thank you. That guy.
So yes, he's in this movie, as
Okay.
is Hugh Jackman.
Hmm.
And the Queen herself appears, and yes, I'm going to be one of those fans.
Okay.
This is our first movie in Critical Misses that stars Zendaya.
Ah, okay. Great.
And as a super fan of Zendaya, who is literally incredible in everything I've ever seen her in,
Mm-hmm.
this was my first exposure to her.
Okay. I think my first one was the
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man like quasi
Yes.
reboot. She was very good in that.
For Homecoming? Homecoming.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay. Those are both of them are great. I'm excited for those.
who, funny enough, is I'm pretty sure she's also a Disney kid, just for the record.
Probably. Yeah.
And there's other people in it. Rebecca Ferguson, who is going to be alongside Zendaya in the new Dune movie. Speaking of Dune,
Oh, exciting.
they're gonna work together there too. And that's all I'm really gonna say.
Okay. Well, I think that
I literally don't want to say anything else. I just
yeah.
can't because I won't stop.
Well, let's stop the show and let's go watch the movie then.
Sounds like a plan.
We are back from watching The Greatest Showman. My my top note here is after watching two sung through musicals, there's not nearly enough singing. So like,
I
man, you guys are
forgot
talking
how much
a lot.
talking there was. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this isn't Les Mis. This
Yeah.
isn't Hamilton. There is a lot of dialogue in this movie.
You guys are talking a lot here. Come on. A very snappy, 90 minutes of movie.
Yeah, I was gonna like one of my first notes is oh yeah, this movie moves because I completely forgot that it moves.
Yeah, now he's a kid, now he's a teen, now he's back from building the railroads. It's like, whoa, wait, okay, all right.
Yep. Which, let's talk about the songs first and foremost. The intro to The Greatest Show, which the best version of that is at the end, which we'll get to eventually. So just a little teaser at the beginning of the type of music that you'll be listening to throughout the course of this movie.
I think for this whole season, we'll get to the ranking here at the end of this episode. I think this whole season, the intro of Hairspray so far had been my favorite thing. Where it's like, all right, like that's a hell of a song.
With
like
Good Morning
opening.
Baltimore.
Yeah. But man, this intro with like the silhouette and the foot stomps and just like a super quiet song, I'm just like, oh no, this is really good. I'm like 30 seconds in and this is good.
My favorite thing is you mentioned you like a big crowd interaction as well.
Yeah.
And, oh boy, does this movie have some crowd interaction in it.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I'm glad they opened the movie like that because I think Greatest Showman for me is kind of two movies in one. I think when they're not singing, it's fine. Like
Yes.
it's a fairly predictable story. Everybody does a really great job. I think everybody in the movie is a great actor. But it kind of goes exactly where you think it's going to go, which
Yeah.
is fine.
As I mentioned last time, it's the Disneyfication of
Yeah.
P.T. Barnum,
Right.
and it plays exactly like any
Right.
Disney movie that you've seen.
Yeah, and which is fine. Like I can't hold it. I have a problem with movies that I call tear factories, where it's just like
Hmm.
this isn't a tear factory. It's not meant for the strings swell and the two people hug and everybody in the theater is crying. You know, it's not like that. But man, is every single song in this movie incredible. Holy
Yep.
crap.
So
Just
the fun thing is the first time I saw this movie, me and my wife had a conversation, and I had a favorite song, and I was like, I don't care, no other songs live up to this one song. We'll
okay.
get there when we get there, as we
Okay.
discuss it. Having seen the movie about 50 times now,
Right.
I can say it's a lot closer than I originally gave it credit for.
Okay.
And like four other songs have stepped up to be like right
Oh,
next to that original song.
all
Still my
right.
favorite, but also I think I might have listened to it by itself a little bit too many times.
Sure. I think the only song that I would consider the weakest is the one that the kids sing in the beginning. Just because
A
it's
Million Dreams.
yeah, and like it's a solid song and like they sing it okay, but then, you know, when
Yeah, A
Wolverine
Million
comes in.
Dreams. Yeah, A Million Dreams
Yeah.
is a good song. It's a good like family kind of song,
Yeah.
but then it transitions to Come Alive.
Right. It's just like, "Oh hell yeah, here we go. Let's
Mhm.
do it."
Like, let's not make no bones about it. Even the Disney-fied version of P.T. Barnum is kind of a con man, and he knows he is.
Yeah, but yeah, like I think the thing that is interesting is what you just said is like, yeah, he's a con man, but he knows it. Where it's just sort of like, yeah, I'm taking advantage of this person, but I'm telling him.
Hmm.
Like, so am I really
Like
taking advantage of him?
the conversation he has with Tom Thumb is like,
Yeah.
"Look, kid, they're already laughing. You might as well kind of get paid from by
I
it, kind of
I feel
thing."
like that's like P.T. Barnum in a nutshell, where it's like, yeah, they're already laughing at you, might as well get paid. But then like
Mhm.
he does have a little bit of a heart of gold after that, where it's like, here's an inspirational Disney speech instead of like, yeah, man, get in the car.
Yes, I like the. My apologies for the phrasing in this, by the way, folks, but it's going to be phrased in an unfortunate way. I like the gathering of the freaks montage,
Sure. Yep.
where like he gets one or two like going out and looking for them, and then he just puts out an advertisement, and
Yep.
everybody comes to him.
Right.
It's a really good like showing of how quickly this thing, like we said, this thing moves. Like
Well, and
this is like 20 minutes in, and he's like, "Wait, what?" Okay.
yeah, he's like has a building and he's going. And I think one of the interesting things too is that every time the circus troupe shows up after that, there's like one or two more people. So like when they go
Mhm.
to that fancy dinner, there's like 35 people there. I was like, "Oh my, okay, well they apparently all work for the circus." Like that's all right. You got something going here.
Yes, but yeah, "Come Alive" that's a hell of a song.
It's really good. It's that was like my ears perked up and I was like, "Oh. Oh, okay. All right.
Mhm.
Here we go."
Um. Oh, okay. So yeah, developing a show, Tom show, be it the lady auditions, blah blah blah. So big thing for me is I like the family unit he has,
Yeah.
and in honestly, in very small moments, his daughters steal the show in this movie.
They're very good, yeah.
Specifically during Come Alive, if you go back and watch it, there's a sing-along version on YouTube. You can watch Boston just to get yourself straight to it.
Right.
There's a bit where they're doing the choreography in the middle, and it looks like obviously the show's been going on a little bit, and people are getting used to it. And the girls are off to the side doing the choreography really badly, along with the actual
That's really
dancers.
good.
It's a fantastic little
Oh
moment where
man.
it's just like, yeah, they're doing the dance alongside it, and like they do the whole side switch thing, and it's just like, of
Oh
course, because
man.
they've probably seen it a million times, so they know what
Yeah.
the dance is.
There's some really good chemistry between him and the two daughters. Like one of
Hmm.
my favorite scenes in the movie is when one of the daughters asks if she can climb the giraffe, and he's like, absolutely not, and then just like
Yes.
moves right on to the next thing.
Yeah.
It feels very much like taking care of a kid that age, where it's like, great question, no, moving on.
Yes. Let's distract you with something else so you don't
Right.
continue to
Look at
think
this
about
big
this on the
gorilla.
planet. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, "Come Alive" is a great song. Obviously, the circus is doing well, but he's trying to get his audience bigger, and that's when we get introduced to Philip Carlyle, the
Yeah.
playwright himself, played by Zac Efron.
Yeah, who does a pretty good job at this movie. I feel like almost all of his stuff is ADR'd because it sounds so much quieter than the rest of the movie. Like he's
Hmm.
almost like whispering or something, but like he did pretty well in this.
Yes, Disney Kid number one we have
Right,
here.
right,
Um,
right,
and we've already been introduced to Disney Kid number 1A, which was Zendaya,
right.
or Zendaya, I should say,
Yeah,
as the sister who does the trapeze with her brother.
right, right,
Specifically, the African American brother and sister.
right. There's a line in there where I think the brother says it like, "Hey, they're not going to be happy when you hire us," and I was like, my immediate
Yeah,
thought was like, "Why is that?" And I was just like, "Oh, right."
yes.
Wait,
I think the line is, "They're not going to be happy if you put us on a stage."
yeah,
And his response was, "It's exactly what I'm looking for."
yeah, yeah. Like the con man, it's just like, "Oh man, look what he did. Oh no, you better
Hmm.
come pay and see."
To quote a famous wrestling writer, "Controversy breeds chaos,
Yes,
and chaos equals cash."
yeah.
So,
I
yes.
I actually like the progression throughout the movie where every time they cut back to the circus, the building is nicer. It's a little bit bigger. There's more
They all look a
seats.
bit more comfortable. Like, they
Yeah,
all
like
look
they have
like
better
they're
costumes. The stage
Mhm.
is bigger. I like that they don't explain it. It's just like, yeah, now we're back. It's another couple of months. There's more people, and look at how well it's doing. It's like, all right, you don't have to spend 5 minutes being like, look at all this money we're making. It's just like, no, boom, boom, boom. Let's keep moving.
Yes. What did you think of Keela Settle, by the way, aka the bearded lady?
I thought she was really good.
Yep. So when we went to go and see Hugh Jackman in New York, she showed up as
Oh,
a special
hello.
guest.
That's
Also, fun
cool.
fact, she played Helen and Bohemian Carter's role in the Les Mis stage production.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So she has a history of musicals underneath her.
Yeah. No, she's
But
really
yeah,
good.
I think her emoting is absolutely incredible. Like,
Yep.
you get everything from her face, and then I love the fact that they start selling the big beards, and one of the girls is always wearing a big beard whenever she's around her.
Yep, it's really good. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
man.
but yes, we get introduced to Philip, and we get "The Other Side," which is one of my wife's favorite songs.
Is this the one where they're in the bar?
Yes, the first one where they're in the bar. Yes.
God, the choreography in this scene alone is just like, oh my, it's like, all right, cool. They're gonna like slide some shot glasses around, okay. And like 5 minutes later, I'm like, what are they doing? This
And
is
like the shot glass impacts are beats with the music,
oh
like
yeah.
everything, everything's done so well in this
Just
song.
I'm a sucker for it, and it's just like, yeah, man, stomp on the floor. That's the good stuff.
And I'm not gonna lie, I also like the fact that like Zac Efron's character, like when he repeats what Hugh Jackman, what Barnum has said, and he's like, "You go ahead and you do you, and I'm gonna do me." He sounds so condescending, even singing it,
Yeah,
because he's like, "I ain't gonna join you because I'm a rich kid and I got everything I need right here. Who
right,
cares if I'm not satisfied? I got the monies."
right. I'm not flushing my trust fund down the toilet here, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Such a good song.
yeah. That one is. I feel like that's a good 1-2 punch where it's like, all right, that the first couple songs weren't really a fluke. It's like I there's a lot of real good stuff in here.
Yeah, and it's even better when the next song on my list here is "Never Enough."
Oh boy.
Shall we talk about this song?
Yeah, man.
So, for the record, Rebecca Ferguson, she's the one who's going to be in Dune, by the way. So, Jenny Lind, she's
Okay.
in the new Dune movie. She is a trained singer. They did not use her singing for the actual movie itself.
Oh, interesting.
However, when filming it, she performed it live on stage in front of all of the extras.
Oh wow.
So then they just had to basically edit around the timing to get the real singer and her singing together, which is why you
Right.
can see when she's singing, she's got those neck veins that are coming out,
Yeah, I
which
was
is
just
just
like,
like,
man, she's really killing it.
uh-huh.
Yeah, that is. Oh man, like that. That's it's interesting to have the not like a. It's kind of classical, but it's kind of modern, but not in a way where it's like Moulin Rouge, where it's like, oh, we're like remaking sort of a popular pop song.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really
That literally is I think it's the most old school musical piece in this movie
yeah,
because it's literally just one woman in an orchestra and a song.
yep,
I did not like this song the first time I heard it, but the more I hear it, the more I appreciate just the full range of everything that goes on in it.
yeah,
It's such a good piece.
yeah.
And then less than 30 seconds later, like literally like a minute or two later, you get This Is Me,
Oh, yeah.
which is the song I was talking about. This is my number one
Okay,
song in this movie
right.
because it's got such a kick to the emotions. It's like the circus troupe being kicked out of the fancy place and how they're kind of fed up of being ashamed of who they are.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's such an incredible performance, and this is where the bearded lady comes into her own because this is her song.
Oh, yeah, and I like that it's this like rallying cry at the beginning, and then I like once she starts walking, like she starts marching faster and faster and faster, and then starts running, and it just like it keeps taking off from there.
Hmm. So that is probably my favorite song in the entire movie. Like I every time I watch this movie, two songs will get to me to the point where one I will cry. This Is
Uh
Me,
huh.
I will cry every time.
Right. Right.
Like I just can't help it. As somebody who is fed up of being judged and put down for who I am, I
Right.
can't help but appreciate that song. And the other one is From Now On, which is the second to last song.
Oh, okay.
Um, like, but This Is Me is the award winner of
Yep.
this movie. Like, it won a bunch of awards. It didn't get the Oscar, unfortunately,
Huh.
but it's such a song. Like,
Yeah. And it's interesting because it the way that it's shot and everything that's done, like it's very clearly like a big showpiece, and
mhm,
I think it really manages to meet what it's trying to do. Because a lot of times you'll see these big pieces in a movie, and you sort of be like, oh, that was like the big moment.
mhm.
I don't really think it got there, but I think for once this really gets there.
I just love the way it's performed as well. Like the fact that the song rises in power, like it feels very powerful. It's probably the best way to
Yep.
describe it.
Oh yeah.
And then it stops, hits you with the emotion, and then rises back again to the same level of power again right at the very end.
Yep.
Like it's such a great thing. And again, handy little Easter egg for you here. Go back and watch again. There's a single-long version on YouTube. Not that I've seen it a million times or
I'm
anything.
watching it right now.
But if you get to the end of that, when it slows down and everybody does the jump,
Yep.
and it freezes with everybody in midair, if you look at Zendaya, she's doing the Spider-Man jump because
Oh
she
no.
just finished filming Spider-Man at the time.
That's great.
So she's literally doing the Spider-Man pose with like the legs up and like the arms
Right.
outstretched, like she's jumping. It's so
Oh,
good.
that's really good. Yeah, I feel like we've been talking about the Scott Pilgrim thing here, which is, the emotions become too big and
Hmm.
you just got to get them out. I feel like this is this is like the proof that when that works the best, you get good stuff like This Is Me, where it's like I've been slighted and like I just have so many emotions and like I gotta get them out by singing, and it's like
Hmm.
the power behind it. I think is that's the best of musicals when this sort of stuff happens.
Yeah, I adore that song. Like, I
Yeah,
genuinely is one of my favorite songs, probably of all time.
yeah,
But It's so powerful, especially if you're paying attention and if you know your history, and especially if you're like us, giant nerds who now nerds seem to rule the world. But when we were growing up, we were the ones who got the crap kicked out of us
Yep.
constantly. Like, oh, you're never gonna be nothing. You're just a giant nerd with your books
Right.
and your D&D and your video games.
With your reading.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But yeah, This Is Me is a hell of a good song.
Yeah.
Okay, what else? Oh yeah, Percy and Anne start their kind of on again, off again relationship,
Right.
which actually began before This Is Me, because again, This Is Me is used for Zendaya to do the whole This Is Me thing while staring at Percy, who's already kind of said, "There's a question about the color of your skin here."
Yeah, I like how angry she looks at him while she's dancing.
Oh
She's
yes.
like angry dancing. It's like, hell yeah. That's
Uh-huh.
show him. This is the good stuff.
Yeah, and it slowly evolves, and then we get Rewrite the Stars, which used to be my least favorite song in this movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think I give her enough credit. Both of them are great singers. It's actually a very good song.
Yeah, I think it's I think it is on first watching probably one of the weakest out of the show. Not that it's bad, but like all of the other ones are just like top of the pops, just killers. And this one is, I think, a really strong duet because I think Zendaya's voice in this is really, really strong. And I think Zac Efron's voice is solid, but he's obviously not the focal point here.
Yeah,
Like the trapeze work and her voice is really
the choreography
focus.
again in this song is incredible too, with the
Yeah.
ups and downs and the
Flying from rafter to rafter, like it's just
yes,
yeah, it's really good.
it's a really solid thing. And circus are doing well. What's a face quits. Blah blah blah. There's a story in the background here, by the way, folks. It's a tale about a man's redemption. Just so you're aware.
Right, and also like it seems like the movie the whole time was sort of flirting with Barnum falling in love with this opera singer, and I'm sort of like,
Jenny, yeah.
yeah, Jenny, and I was like, how is he like really in love with her? Is that just dollar signs in his eyes? And we very clearly get the answer to that very quickly.
It's dollar signs.
It's dollar signs, and he's like, you were in love with me, and she's like, oh my god. And he's like, but the tour. She's like, yeah, all right, I'm out.
Yep.
And you get a real sad rendition of Never Enough, which is pretty heartbreaking.
Yep. And also we get Tightrope, which is my least favorite song. It's a song sung by the wife when she's alone at the house.
Yeah.
It's a good song, but I'll be honest, it is the weakest of the bunch.
Yeah, and the hard part about this is because there's so much like ensemble and chorus stuff going on in this movie. Like Rewrite the Stars
stands out like a sore thumb when like it's literally just one person.
Yeah, it's just like one person or two people. Like Rewrite the Stars is a little tough because there isn't 30 people on stage all doing, synchronized choreography while singing an incredibly powerful song. It's just like, yeah, it's two people are in love. All right. Like Michelle Williams, yeah, she's lonely. All right. Where's the 29 other people? Like it's like a victim of its own sort of musical success.
Yeah, but the circus burns down. Whatever. Barnum is destitute. His wife gets repossessed.
Right.
Zac Efron's in the hospital. Zendaya's by his side. Blah 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 blah. Let's go drown our sorrows in the bar we were at earlier. And oh wait, it's my second favorite song of the movie. It's From Now On.
Oh man. Oh, this was so good.
Why do I get the feeling this is your number one?
No, I think my number one I have written down here is Dreaming with Your Eyes Wide Open, but I kind of don't remember that one too much.
I
think that's really early on in the...
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Come Alive.
Oh, that's Come Alive. Okay. Yeah, I'm like typing it as I'm watching the movie, so I'm like, they're saying Dreaming with Your Eyes Wide Open. Okay.
Yes,
it's
that's
like
that.
It's that Tool thing where it's like, I love that song, Learn to Swim. It's like that's not. I get it, but that's not.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Come Alive. Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, From Now On.
Yeah.
the let's all make P.T. Barnum realize his mistakes and learn to love his family again.
Right.
And
His
it's
found
the
family.
redemption song.
Yeah, and it's like the thing you want. It's the Rocky Horror Picture Show found family sort of thing, where it's like, look, all of us are really weird, but all of us have this family together. So like, let's make the most of it and let's actually be a family because no one else wants us and we're great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you talked about choreography in that bar.
Oh man. Oh jeez. And
Like
there's so many people in there too, like doing so much
flips and
stuff.
side barrel rolls
Oh
and
my god, yeah, just like twisting and twirling through the air.
So fun fact, during the pre-production of this movie, Hugh Jackman got skin cancer again for like the 9th time he's
Oh
had it.
jeez.
So he had to get, I think it was on his throat, like a cancerous tumor removed from the outside of his throat.
Right.
Because he constantly gets checked up all the time. Like I think once a year he gets screened for it because he's really susceptible to it because he's had it like 3 times and it just keeps on coming back again and again and again.
Oh wow.
So also he's Australian. So guess what?
Right.
You know,
Right. There's a lot of sun down there.
He lives in the desert essentially.
Yeah.
So during the pre-production for this, he had a cyst removed or a cancerous cells removed from his throat. He was specifically told by his doctor, do not under any circumstances sing.
Uh-oh.
Actually, it might have been on his nose.
Right.
And
he
you
said,
told, do not
"Do
sing
you know
for this.
who
Like,
I am?"
like literally during the pre-production, do you know the kid from Supergirl who does the IT tech stuff?
Yeah.
He's a singer too, by the way.
Oh, no big deal.
He is a fantastic singer. He is actually in one of our season 2 of musicals films.
Oh, okay.
He was doing Hugh Jackman's roles for the pre-production, so they brought him in for the pre-production to get everybody in line to do it.
Nice.
And there's literally footage out there of the pre-production meeting, and Hugh Jackman can't help himself. From now on, he starts singing.
It just takes him over.
And then, like, at the end of the song, he's bleeding because he shouldn't have bloody sang.
Right. Oh, man. I love you, Hugh Jackman.
Yes. But
you handsome devil.
Yes, definitely. From now on is one of it's probably my number 2 song in this entire movie.
Yeah.
Like, because it's so good. It's so powerful. The cast do fantastically with the whole dancing on the bar. The huge giant guy keeping the beat on the ceiling is fantastic little touch.
It's a really good,
Like, it's such a good song.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he meets up with his family again, blah, blah, blah. The circus, they can't get the building back. No bank wants to lend them money. We don't need a building. We just need a tent.
Ta-da.
Ta-da. And then we get the full version of The Greatest Showman.
Yeah. Oh. You know, the thing I forgot to mention, I want to mention it before we talk about this next one. I was incredibly impressed at every instance of like cool top hat choreography. Like
the king of humbug.
Yeah. And like a lot of people like twisting and flipping and like trading top hats with people. I don't know why, but that apparently is my jam in this movie.
It's almost like they scored 3 goals because it's a hat trick.
Oh boy. You got me.
Anyway,
you out dad joked me.
Yeah, that's what 3 cats will do for you.
That's right.
But yeah, The Greatest Showman, the full version, the transition of power version, which is Hugh Jackman doing the full-on presentation with the CGI animals and everything like that going on.
Yep, like the full complete show.
Yes, and then he does the transition of power over to Zac Efron.
Yep.
And boy, can Zac Efron sing, which you don't realize until he comes in for his start of This Is the Greatest Show.
Yeah.
And it's a very long note that he holds, and it's really good.
Yeah, it's sort of like, hey, you know, I was sort of playing second fiddle this whole movie, but hey, look, I can actually do this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You get the whole dancing, you know, everything going on, and Hugh Jackman goes to see his kids, his daughters in the ballet.
Yeah, the play, or the ballet,
yes. Yeah. And his daughter, who he said was going to be the lead, is the lead.
Yep.
And then his other daughter is a tree.
I forgot about that. I love that's a really great moment that I liked where she's just like, "I'm a tree. What's up?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's so good. And yeah, credits.
yeah, and like they just, I like that the movie wastes no time the entire time, the entire runtime. Like it
Mhm.
gets in, it tells a really fast story. It spends the most time on the songs, which is really what you want it to do, and then it just kind of is like, all right, that's the story. Credits. See ya.
Yep. Bye. Well, see ya.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
I'm not gonna lie, this is my favorite musical of all time. It
Hmm.
might not be the best, it might not be the most successful.
Sure.
This is my favorite.
Yeah,
Like,
I went into this because you love it so much. I was expecting it to be good and
hmm
um be another musical where it's like, oh yeah, like this is all right, I get it. But man, this is just like I said, as a movie, fine. Not enough singing, but you know, I think we've both got like the Les Mis brainworms going on right now. Um,
hmm
but man, each and every song is just like a spectacle and a set piece, and just every single one of them is incredible. And it's just I feel like this is one of those musicals where it's like, yeah, you probably haven't seen this and you really should. You should
yeah.
just spend the 90 minutes and just go watch it.
Like, switch your real life human facts about these people brain off, like you can do with
Yeah.
every single Disney movie that exists out there,
Mhm.
and just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Because it's short. It's like, what was it, 94 minutes top to tail?
Yeah, because I think it's like 100 something minutes with credits, but like the credits are super long in this. So I think it's like 90 minutes or 90 minutes and change. Like it cooks.
Yeah, and again, this is one of those movies. I watched it twice this week
Right.
because I wanted to. The first time trying to analyze, and the second time just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like, this is probably my favorite musical ever. Period.
Yeah. It's
Because
crazy good.
it's also happy. There are sad moments
Yes.
in it, but there is a lot of strength in it. Like, This Is Me is a good example. That is a sad song. That is a kick in the heart song, but it's
Right.
based on a foundation of strength. Like, it's
Yeah.
building them up to be who they are, but being proud of it. Like, that's a sad topic that's told really well, but with strength behind it. Like, there isn't a whole lot of stuff in here that's a sad subject. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I Dreamed a Dream is one of the best songs ever put to theatre.
Right.
But oh boy, is that song depressing.
Right. Right. Well, and you know this movie isn't going to have a bad ending. You know it's not going to be like P.T. Barnum's like, all right, well, it burnt down. See you guys.
Mhm.
Like, good luck, freaks. Credits. You know, like it's not going to be like that. It's going to be like, yeah, he goes to his daughter's recital, and everything's good, and you know, Zac
Mhm.
Efron takes over the show. No big deal. You know, it all works out in the end, and that's especially in 2020. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. And honestly, kind of needed this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It is. It's much better than I was expecting it to be, and it's a fantastic musical.
hmm
Yeah. All right. Should we do our rankings
Sure, why not?
before we talk about what our next season will be? No.
hmm
Why don't we start with you at your number 5?
Mamma Mia.
Yeah, me too. It's good.
It's a fine
It's
musical.
it's fun. Meryl
Yeah,
Streep is great.
yeah, Meryl Streep at like 60 doing things I could only dream about is pretty great.
Right. As I'm sitting here in
Like,
this chair going like, oh, my back.
yeah, I'm not kidding. I literally picked up an empty bag earlier, and my back was just like, no.
Go to hell. Yeah.
How did I twist that I hate you just picking up this plastic bag?
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's good. It's fine. I mean, it's
it helps
pop.
if you love ABBA.
Yeah, and like it's one of those where you can definitely see it's popular for a reason, but there are only 5 this season, and one of them needs to be at the bottom.
Yes,
So number 4,
Hairspray.
Ditto. Um,
Genuinely a really good musical. It's got some
Yep.
fantastic tunes in it.
Yep.
It starts with probably one of the hottest songs, like, period.
Yep.
And it does what, like we discussed it on the actual episode, like does one of my favorite things. It takes something really dark and then puts a shining filter on it to make it sound like it's really good, and it's
Yep.
actually just still super duper dark.
And
Like,
and manages to avoid like the white savior thing we talked about in the episode where it's like, I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna save the day because I'm white. It's like, no, just she just wants everyone to dance together.
yeah.
Like that's
And
really it.
if anything, she ends up being just an ally, which is exactly what they needed.
Right. Right. And
Like,
it's solid, and it's everyone is really good, and everybody sings really well, which is kind of shocking if you look at the cast of that movie.
yes.
But Ian, it again. There's only five things, and the stuff at the top of this list is outstanding.
Hmm.
Number three.
Hamilton.
Hmm. Uh, Hamilton and Greatest Showman are like tied for 2 and 3 here for me for like opposite reasons.
Hmm.
Um, man, Hamilton is good. As much as I
It's
didn't
a
want it to be, it's really good.
it's a great musical. It's
Yep.
really well told. The music is original and modern and fun. Like,
Yep.
and it's talking about one of the founding fathers that never gets talked about in America.
Right.
We
Slightly
never hear Hamilton.
educational without being dry.
Yeah, it,
Yeah.
it it hits a lot of the right things, and it made musicals accessible to the masses, which is why
Yes.
everybody seems to love musicals these days.
Right. Which is great. Yeah, mine
But
is. Oh God.
the problem is it's not the other two.
Right. Right. Yeah. Mine here at number 3 is Greatest Showman, but like Greatest Showman and Hamilton are like kind of neck and neck for me for opposite reasons. Like Greatest Showman, I think every single song is a hit, and the 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 yada yada stuff we just blew through in this episode with like the plot is just like, yeah,
We
okay,
do that with
whatever.
every one of these musical episodes, though.
Yeah, which
All we
which
did
is
was talk
fine.
about the music.
Yeah, but like, the movie itself is fine. It's a solid movie. It's well acted. The songs are incredible throughout. But I think for me, I think it's like it's a little bit behind Hamilton, or like on the right day it might be a little bit ahead of it. They're both kind of
Hmm.
there for me in the sort of 2 and 3. So what's your number two?
My number two is Les Mis.
Yeah,
Like, I know it's going to be your number one. Spoiler alert.
absolutely.
Um,
With a bullet.
yeah, the thing for me with Les Mis is I love the especially the movie we watched, like specifically the
Yeah.
movie version we watched. I didn't do what you did and watch 17 different versions of it in a week.
Hey, it's been
Uh,
3.
there you go. Um, like, I genuinely have a newfound respect for that movie, especially after watching it this
Absolutely.
time. Like, I always thought it was good, and I didn't realize how good it was until this time.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's like 3 hours long.
Right. Yeah, it's
And
not like a light afternoon watch.
no, and it's very, 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 very dark.
Mm-hmm.
And not even just 2020, but like, period, like all time,
Right.
like past 10, 15 years. You gotta be in kind of a special mood to watch Les Mis. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's literally in the title,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know? It's great. The songs are fantastic. It's a great musical. The set pieces are great. Russell Crowe can be forgiven his questionable singing. Like,
That's that is the obvious weak point of the movie version of Les Mis. It's like everyone else is really great. They did a cool, unique way of recording the vocals for that I think largely turned out really well. Um,
mhm,
I think it's a cool, like I think it in the same way as Hamilton did it. The movie takes Les Mis, the stage musical, and makes it accessible by kind of explaining everything that's happening, because the stage musical is kind of like rapid fire. Like these people come off the stage, these people come on the stage for the next song. And it's like, how did we get from here to where are we? Like,
yeah,
what's who are these people?
it
I think
transitions really solidly. Yeah,
Yeah, and still manages to stay under like 4.5 hours, even with all
Yeah.
that extra stuff.
Also, fun fact by the way, Hugh Jackman's dad in The Greatest Showman.
Mm-hmm.
He was Javert in the same theater production that Seattle was the
Oh, right.
Helen Bohem Carter
Look
version.
at that. All together.
Just, just so you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, number one for me is Greatest Showman. Like
Yeah.
it's literally my favorite musical ever. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but the songs caught me, the feels caught me. Like it caught me at the right time, at the right place. Which
Yeah.
sometimes that's all you need with a specific genre.
It's not 3 hours long, which is a
Yes,
bonus.
it's not 3 hours long. It's
No intermission.
like if I'm ever having like a really bad day, I can just pop on one of the songs and then I can be cheered up by it.
Yeah.
Or I can be made to cry by it, which sometimes you need that side
Yeah,
of it
like
instead.
it's got whatever emotions you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greatest Showman for me is number one, and obviously we already know that you are the miserable one.
Yeah, Les Mis is it's I feel like Les Mis was the one I was really nervous about going into the season, where it's like, all right, all these other ones are kind of like, I know all these, and Hamilton is, we talked about it in the intro, but Les Mis is kind of the one where it's like, boy, if I don't like this one, I feel like that's kind of like the one you'll never hear the end of. And I
Mm-hmm.
watched it and I was like, yeah, it's like, I watched it and I was like, oh, all right, that's why it's a classic. Oh no, I really love this. Like,
Yeah, and then you literally watch the stage version as well.
I did. The 25th anniversary stage version is very good. But like, it's just one of those where it's like, all right, I can respect, like Mamma Mia, I can respect why that's a classic. Not 100% for me, but I get it. I can respect Hamilton. I really like it, but it's not. I'm not going to be hitting up Spotify to listen to the soundtrack over and over. Um, I'll probably just listen to nonstop because that song's really great. But man, Les Mis is just like this hit every note for me during the entire movie, and I just like. I can absolutely understand why it's a classic, and it 100% got its earworms into me. Like, it's just...
Was that the first time you've been exposed to I Dreamed a Dream as well?
Yeah, because, like, I think we talked about it in the intro of the episode, where it's like, Anne Hathaway sings the Les Mis song, and I'm like, yeah, which one's that? Like, what one's that? And it's like, it's that very much like, oh, you'll know it when you hear it. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And it's like, oh no, that's the Les Mis song. Ah, crap.
It's literally one of the most popular like pieces of music in musicals as well. Like,
yeah,
for a reason, as it turns out.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, Les Mis is really, it's funny because it's like, it's almost like 30 years old by this point, and it's just like, Les Mis is something special, and everyone's like, yeah, man, no kidding. Like, actually, it might be 35 years old at this point, but like, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't have to tell you why it's great. I can just tell you that I also love it. But yeah, I'm glad we did a whole bunch of musicals. I feel like my musical education has sort of leveled up here. I'm apparently a real sucker for sung through musicals. I don't want the singing to stop. Don't stop the singing. I'm very excited for whenever we do the next season of musicals, because we have another list of like 4 or 5, and I'm sure very quickly we will have a third season of musicals where it's like, oh, what about the next Mamma Mia, and what about Moulin Rouge, and what about this?
On list of musicals for season 2 is 7 long right now.
So we could
cut
2 of those out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
literally the ones you mentioned are not in that list. By the way.
So yes, definitely, definitely 2 more seasons. But we'll
also, fun fact: Les Mis premiered 1980, dude. 1980.
Wow. We don't even have Into the Woods on there, which premiered in San Diego. Yeah, there's a lot of hits to keep our education going. Yeah, that's right. That I have definitely missed. My wife and I did a couple of years ago did see a stage production of Into the Woods here in San Diego, and it was very good.
Yeah, dude, Wicked.
Yeah, God, Wicked. Yeah,
Rent,
I don't know if I keep
West
forgetting
Side
about Wicked.
Story.
I love West Side Story so much. Yeah.
Never seen it.
So yes, unfortunately, the next season is not going to be more musicals. We're going to save that for a little bit. We're not gonna turn into like the musical critical misses podcast. That'll be the next show. But our next season, we're going to take kind of almost pretty much the literal
Literally
other
a
end of the
180-degree turn.
yeah. We're going to watch FLCL, Fully Cooley. This is our first. Originally, we had set a theme episode up for just like, here's like 5 of the most popular non-Ghibli anime movies, and like maybe that's where we start. And Moon had recommended, like, why don't we just watch Fully Cooley?
Yeah, because it's something the only time I've ever heard people talk about it is you.
Right.
Like,
yeah, me and anyone
on
who
this show, well, not this show, but the main show is
right.
the only time I've ever heard people mention that name. Either
Yeah.
people writing in, the hosts talking about it. Even before I joined, you guys were still talking about it then. And it's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I literally have no reference.
Yeah, us and anyone who watched Adult Swim between 2002 and 2003. But yeah, we're going to watch Fully Cooley, the original, and alternative and progressive. So we're going to watch all 3 shows of Fully Cooley. They are only about 2 hours a piece. There's like 6 half-hour, 25-minute episodes each. So if anyone wants to watch along with us, it is pretty easy to find, and it's a pretty quick watch. It's not like 60-hour-long episodes, so we're not gonna.
Yeah, dude, this isn't like Critical Misses season 5 Naruto for the rest of our lives.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, we would have to think of a fun Naruto pun for that show. But yeah. Yeah. But that's going to be our next season. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening and watching to season 4. I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, boy.